How you doing? How you doing? We're getting ready to bring Anna Doc in here. Tell your friends, tell your family, we're getting ready to rock and roll. But yeah, so it's always an honor to have someone on here who is a huge legend, such as Doc Mack in here, and I cannot wait to get this guy in here. So let me undeafen and let us get this show on the road. All right, Doc Mack, what is happening, my dude?
Uh, you know, same old stuff. It's
Same old stuff.
just a million things always going on.
Hear that. I hear that. So, um, we would go to your. I'll be going to your arcade with NASCAR Freak here for now. I on my Facebook post it said like 5 years, and each year is something new, something great. Uh, just it's always an honor to have a face like yourself around in the world somewhere who's willing to participate with us nutsos and do awesome arcade games like you do. How do you do it, my dude?
But it's basically just come in every day and have fun. So it's there's always so many games that I'm so excited to play, and I'm always excited to see how people react to them. So it really just kind of keeps pushing it forward, where it drives us to keep adding more stuff to the arcade.
Okay. And the other thing I was gonna ask you is with every single year you're bringing in new games, new things to create a better environment or a louder environment. Sometimes I would say, um, when it comes to like the noise in there, do you plan on increasing the noise or making things a little more? I would say controlled chaos in the future.
Well, we basically try to have any machine that's there, like we have the attract sound on, but it doesn't really seem like it's getting louder. We do decibel checks and everything,
Okay.
and it's uh, because it's such a big open space, um, and there's more buildings. It's just kind of like the same volume.
Right.
uh, and we're constantly always going in and adjusting audio levels just so you can hear everything. Not like one game isn't drowning out the game next to it, and
Right.
you don't want it so loud that people are it's uncomfortable. But it's definitely a lot of sounds going on all at once.
Which is what I enjoy is a lot of people I've talked to before, they go, when they watch the videos on my YouTube, they're going, man, it's so loud. How can you, concentrate on a game? I said, well, here's the thing: when you get into a game, your focus is on that game, and the sound just kind of like mellows out, which is very nice, as you can tell. Like when you get concentrated in a video game or arcade game, the noise just cancels out the whole rest of the place, which is the best part. Because like you're saying, like you do the decibels test and all that stuff, because um, there are some machines that you would expect to be a lot louder. You're going, thank God it's not blasting my ear off. Galaga going nuts 24/7 next to Pac-Man. So it's a pleasure to have the ability to hear every single game when you go past it when you're doing your walkthrough. And you're going, I can hear like my childhood over here, and then oh wait, I hear my child over here, 2 rooms down.
Yeah, the arcades, they're designed pretty smart, where the cabinet itself kind of like puts you in direct line with the sound, and it goes out and disperses, but like it's such the enclosed experience, if you will, like just because you're right in on the monitor, speakers directly above it, so it's they're laid out pretty well.
Cool. Um, so back to I had a question. Was I'm pretty sure you answered this on YouTube before with me. When did you start the arcade again?
The arcade opened August 13th, 2010. So coming up on our 15-year anniversary.
Awesome. And what like do you guys have like a special venue you guys do for that or?
We do. We have a so the weekend before we do our T20 tournament, which is an annual tournament that we do in usually it's 20 arcade games. Sometimes it's stuff that we've pulled off the arcade floor, sometimes it's some new games, sometimes it's all new games. Last year we did 22 new games. Um,
Wow.
and we do a this anniversary Monday. Uh, it's kind of a changeover. We're going to be changing our Monday mystery game. That Monday will be the start of the Monday Mystery Vault series,
Okay.
which just because we're completely out of space, we're going to have to start bringing in it. The Monday game will only be there for the week, and then it'll disappear back into the vaults.
Okay.
Uh, and then on Wednesday, which is the actual anniversary, we'll announce our Gamer of the Year like we've done every year. So it's normally that whole week is just a lot of events and cool stuff going on. A lot of players traveling in from all over literally all over the world. So
Literally.
yeah, it's exciting. It's great to see so many of the players that make the place what it is.
Okay. Here's out of the ball question for you. I'll park right here. Is are you ready for the new Mortal Kombat movie?
I saw the trailer for it. I I was, the first one. It's not. I don't know. It's so difficult for me to enjoy a video game, a movie based on a video game.
Okay.
I'm love the lore of Mortal Kombat, the original. I want them to do that story, and
Right.
it's hard uh, to get all of it into a movie. And um, I, we'll see. I thought the trailer was great. I thought it
Right.
was um, we'll see though. We'll see.
I mean, and Carl Urban playing as Johnny Cage is probably the best part for me because I'm like I love that guy because he played a good Dread. He played a great Doom guy in Doom. I mean, I'm what can this guy not do? Um, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be mostly like my buddy NASCAR freak was saying. I'm hoping and he's hoping that's gonna be like a story based upon how Johnny Cage became who he is now in the Mortal Kombat universe, but also to kind of show the backstory of who's back in the movies or in the world of Mortal Kombat, if you would, and then what new villains we have. I saw Shao Kahn in it, and I'm like, he looks amazing according to the other ones because the last time we had him was not great. So, I mean, I still enjoy the original movies for what they were, but they had a lot of work they had to get done, and these new ones are really putting in, the work with the AI and how the actors actually act their roles like Kano, is doing a really good job in my opinion. So I understand where you're coming from. It must be my generation's going, but it's better than the old ones. you know.
And for me, I never like. I wanted Daniel Pacina to be Johnny Cage and Rich
Mm-hmm.
DeVizio to be Kano. Like that's who those characters are to me.
Right.
So it's one of those where it's that bar is set in such a different place where it's hard to make it all work. So
Right.
we'll see. We'll see though.
I heard that. Awesome. So then, one of the friends I had, they were asking exactly, what question we asked. Believe I asked you last year, like what kind of arcade cabinets do you actually bring into your arcade, and for what kind of a crowd are you trying to grow? But the question I then had from that question is like, there are some arcade cabinets that haven't touched any arcade because of the content on the arcade machine, and I've seen some of those machines in the arcade. I'm like, whoa, this is mind blowing because it's epic. It's awesome. I never was able to play as a kid because it was the M rated, the adult rated, if you would. But is there a certain line that your arcade, if you would consider family friendly, not cross?
You know, it's funny, and we get that all the time. Like, oh, they won't get this, and they can't get this, and it's there's really nobody that polices any of that. Like
Right,
games that for there's not really anything that outrageous out there,
right.
especially in comparison to like the home console games these days. Like you look at a game like Death Race or Chiller, and it's like
Right,
nobody's complaining about those. So
right.
it's there's no real guidelines as far as content of what we would or wouldn't get.
Okay.
Um, so it's just kind of whether or not it makes sense in the arcade, or if it's a fun game.
Makes sense. So basically, again, the answer you had last year, I believe it was basically, it's got to be something that you'll see what brings in the faces to that certain machine and how long it would play, right? Like, if you bring in a new machine and no one touches it, are you going to keep it there or just kind of put it in the back in the vault if you would?
No, it's never. It's kind of the big thing with the arcade. Like even a game like Donkey Kong, people play Donkey Kong, but they don't play it for very long.
Right.
Uh, so it's never really been about what people want to play.
Okay.
I've always said it's the selfish side of the arcade. The arcade floor is basically the stuff I want to play,
Right.
and I'm fortunate that other people want to play a lot of the same games. But there's so many games at the arcade that people, unless you take them over to it and show them the game, they won't play it.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of like the big conundrum for so many arcades where the average arcade player that walks in to go to an arcade, they'll play driving games, light gun games, pinball games, and then if they have them, skee ball and air hockey and hoops it up
Yeah.
basketball. They're all these super casual games, and they get played the most. And
Right.
it's why companies like Play Mechanics, Raw Thrills lean towards drivers and light gun games because everybody plays them. But with an arcade, what you need is to get the players kind of in a bit deeper.
Okay.
Um, Games, the classics are so difficult to play for players if they're new to the scene and not used to a challenge. Like console game has become much easier in comparison to how classic arcade games were.
True.
Not often used to that sort of difficulty. Um, so it's one of those where, and I think it's one of the things that Galloping Ghost does so well, where you can kind of get all that information. The people that are there and working are so knowledgeable about the games that they can kind of like if you go up to an obscure game, they can tell you about it.
Right.
They can tell you why it's cool. They can tell you why you would want to play it. Um, there's a game called Yuchiyu Daisuke-san Chocovator Contact D. It came out in Namco. An
Okay.
outrageously rare game. And when it came out, not extremely popular. It's basically mini games.
Okay.
And I bought I bought one board. It was like $8. And I brought it in from Japan. And it was like, wow, this game is absolutely amazing. And the guy had like 9 other boards. So I bought all of them. I sent them all over to arcades, basically all over. I gave some to friends and other arcade operators. And the game now is like super popular and the value of it has gone way up. And it's just because people didn't know about the game. They didn't know what made it a fun game.
Okay.
And Japanese title, most people can't even pronounce it.
Right.
So like you walk up to it, most people it's not what they stop at because they're not going to figure it out.
Right.
Whereas a light gun game, they know they just pick the light gun up and start firing and they're having fun. But it's one of those interesting things with arcade games where the people working there have to be able to kind of explain what some of these games are, especially at our place. There's 1,048 games. There's going to be so many that people would just walk past. And a game like Out Foxy's phenomenal game. People didn't know about it, and unless it's really kind of like, oh, this is kind of the precursor to Smash Brothers, and look at how good the game design is, and you can get people to play more obscure games, um, but it just takes that little bit extra effort.
Awesome. Yeah, that there's like you said, the when people can't pronounce it or they look at the just the title and it's like someone says, what title brings memories, I would not ever remember how to even pronounce that. I'm going, yes, that memory of that one game, but games like that I grew up with, like the retro series for me was like Doom, um, and that's easy because it's 4 letters. But there's some games that a lot of people don't really remember, like the Anamusha, I think it is. It's like a samurai horror
Yeah,
game. Yeah, I love it, but everybody's going, I can't ever pronounce it. I never remember what it was. I know the concept, but I can never find it because I never remember the name. And that's kind of the same with a lot of the arcades that are coming from Japan or from other countries. Are going, I never heard of it, so I would never be able to find it. I can tell you what the screen looks like, but again, you're going through 1,000 so many arcades in one stable area. You're going, I'm only here for one day for one game, so I can't just go here and go, what could this be? What brings me to my next point, which if anybody who's watching this, there is on their website, Galloping Ghost Arcade, they have the list of games on there. So if you're looking for a certain title, I'm sure if you're just going to go like, I don't know if that certain title can be found that quite easily, but there's if you know at least the first couple of letters, you can be able to find it right on there because it's all alphabetical, right? I believe.
yep,
Okay, so if you're looking for just certain one with the first letters IT, you'll be able to find it on there, which is a huge help because again, if you can't remember the name of it, you know at least the first 2 letters or at least some letters, you should be able to find it on there, and that's why I'm always looking on there at least once every 3 4 months, going, what's the new thing I can go to expect when I go on my next visit? Cause I go there once a year in October for a good solid 2 3 years or 2 3 days just to see what new experience I can get. And for those who are watching, you will get a new experience each time you walk in there because each time you will go in there, there will be something new that you did not see. It's kind of like basically an arcade museum when you walk in there because you walk in there and you go the first two steps. You go, wow, it's very bright, it's very there, it's in your face. But then you go into the back corners and you'll find things you never seen before, and there's some machines that sadly you won't be able to be played for that one day, but by next time you're there the next month it's up and running. So um which is a big improvement to a lot of the other places I've been to where they say the machine's been down for over a year. Galloping Ghost Arcade is there to make sure that their games are running, make sure that you're having you know you're basically paying for your experience for that reason to being there, and they want to make sure that your experience there is amazing each time, and that's from personal experience. Going, hey, Doc, this machine's down. It's fixed within 3 4 hours. Sometimes I'm going, holy crap, that was fast. Oh, it was just not plugged in. Okay, cool. So it's always an honor to have that kind of dedication to a home arcade, if you would, experience.
yeah. The maintenance side of it is never ending. We had like we have our lead tech gets here every day 6:30 and just starts working on stuff. Um, I've recapped 2 monitors today, 2 games back up, did some board. It's just a constant onslaught of fixing things just because
Right.
not only do you have 40-year-old electronics running, but then you also have um the consumable side of it, like the buttons and micro switches that go out. It's just an everyday thing. We just had our busiest day ever. We had 1,000 players in a single day,
Wow.
and you think of how much wear and tear happens even in a normal arcade, that if they see 10, 15 people through the door a day, there's a they're playing a bunch of different games. There's a lot of button presses going on. That can mean sticks not working. That can mean
Right.
buttons not working. And it's just a constant effort of not only making sure things are playing right, but looking great and sounding great. Because it's got to be the full experience.
Right.
Um, Even down to like woodwork. We put new casters on a machine today, so it was kind of was playing fine, but it had a slight lean to it because one of the casters came off. So have to tip the machine up, take the old casters off, new casters on. It's the full gamut of anything that can be repaired on them. We're gonna eventually have to repair it, and it's all just takes time.
Right.
1,048 machines, so it's a lot of effort, and it's always been a cornerstone for us to make sure that if it's down, it's we try our absolute best to get it back up as quickly as possible. If something's not working right, let us know, because like we can't. It's difficult for us to play test everything in the place, so
Right. Yeah.
we we we've had players that are like, "Oh, I don't want to just add another thing to the list," and it's like, "No, no, we can't fix it unless we know about it." So it's such a help when players tell us like, "Oh, this isn't playing right," because if we don't know it, we can't fix it. So
Right.
we don't take it as a anything bad having that input of like, "Oh, can you fix this?" So it's we love hearing it.
I mean, I don't know. Some of the faces we get when we walk in, like, oh crap, it's those two guys again. You know, like, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, what's funny is, so my buddy NASCAR and I, we actually plan on bringing two or one or two new friends who've never been there before, and one of the things that's gonna be really fun is seeing that reaction, because the reaction that I had and my buddy NASCAR Freak was, you walk into arcade heaven, you know, like your eyes just widen. And what's so nice is like the staff there is so welcoming, it's so nice. And again, you guys want to know, hey, if this arcade's not working, we want to know. And that's very hard to find again in a lot of other companies, because then you're going, oh, it's nothing on the list. It's like, oh no, we want to make sure that this is like basically it's your home, because it's our business to make you feel like you're at home. And it's always been an honor to come there. Is why I love doing the drive all the way from Michigan to you guys. I mean, it doesn't seem that far, but you know, for me, it's like 3.5 miles to play video games. Huh? 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours of work, you know, get in there. But it's the experience that keeps bringing me back, because there's always something uh, memorable. You know, last year you and I had a good talk, a good walk through the entire building, and that was memorable. Like, I'm going like, holy cow, I just saw, you know, the entire heaven plus beyond the gates of heaven, you know. Um, and that was very memorable to me. And so with my buddy Dreadnought, he and I were discussing that. We're going, you know, what could we do next year? And I'm like, I don't know. There's a whole lot more we could see next year, but you never know, you know. Um, so when it comes to each year, when you go there, for anybody who's watching and looking to do something brand new, when you go there, you know, have like a list of at least 20 games you want to try out, and play them to your heart's content, because it is a awesome price, and it's really fun to see, you know, how much you can do in just the amount of time you have, because you're open from when to when normally.
We open 11 a.m. every day, and Sunday through Thursday we're there till midnight, and then Friday and Saturday we're there till 2 a.m.
So you have literally an entire almost half day to do whatever you want. So if your list is only 20 games, I mean, it's kind of a small list. We try to do at least 100 when we're there for the first day. But one thing I also want to bring up is you guys also have a way to upload or to show high scores, right?
We do. High scores is a very important side to the Galloping Ghost Arcade. I believe we have a little right around 740 world records set there right now. Which again, there's 1,048 games there,
Right.
740 world records. Like it's really become the hotspot of for players to kind of come in and set world records because we do take it so seriously. We
Right.
acknowledge scoring houses like Twin Galaxies and Guinness. We have the highest of standards as far as recording processes to make sure that our scores are credible and the integrity behind um, our Arcade, which is the scoring house, was a standalone scoring house and location tracker. We bought that company because we needed to elevate it even higher because there were. It's so easy to let like when with scoring houses, bad scores get in, and it
Right.
really kind of can permeate the information. With us, it doesn't matter who's setting the score. We hold every score to the same standard. It doesn't matter if it's a player that's been coming for 15 years or a friend of the arcade or one of the people that is working there. Very recently, we had one of the guys that works here. He set a world record and he didn't record it, and he knew instantly. It's like it can't go into the scoreboard because we don't have the video proof.
Right.
And again, having that criteria that falls to everybody, there's no preferential treatment. That was really one of the holdups and the downsides to some of the older scoring houses out there, where players would have so much control over how the score was handled, and this Orcade allows none of that.
Okay.
It's very strict. It's very strict, and because of that, the credibility has been so high, and is what really makes players want to come in because they know if it's an Orcade score, it's a serious score. It's done with the integrity of wanting the scores to be accurate and trust. So like you've got to have that trust. So it's an important side to it.
Very cool. That's always good to hear that with it being that serious. It's like now if you want to do that, it's gonna be official. Like it won't be just phony camera going, "Hey, we're recording this. This is an official world record," and you out there, someone out there, you can do it. Just so you know, that's talking to you, Miss Gaming. I see you in the chat. But yeah, so the other portion that was really cool about the arcade, and this is something that I always enjoy going to do because there's always a story behind each machine, is your pinball location that's really down the road. And the pinball machines, like we had probably a ton more views and talks about the pinball because, like I said, each one has a story behind it, how you got it, or who donated it, or what parts you had to find. Out of the all the pinball machines, which one has the most interesting story?
For pinball, it's almost no question. Like there's been some great stories on a lot of the machines, but Predator is easily the most interesting and of all the pinball stories. That one we had opened. I believe we had like I'm forgetting maybe just under 30 machines. We were spending so much money uh, on on getting machines for pinball because pinball it's a lot more limited space, and I love pinball. I don't know it like I know the video side,
Okay.
so the collection is very horror centric, and it's just games that I used to play, and a lot of like we don't have we have one music theme game, and Zeppelin, because Zeppelin's my favorite band. So it's like it's just a very more much more specific to games that I like.
Right.
And when we opened, we spent a lot of money to get Monster Bash and Defender, Joust. A lot of pins are like you're talking $10,000 per machine.
Right.
Um, Games like Varcon, and there's some very Alien was another one that was extremely expensive. Um, and it was just a big startup cost to the business. Um, right, right after we opened, I told Troy Smith, uh, who was one of the guys that we got so many of the machines from, and he was so instrumental in helping us with so many of our video side games that we purchased. With Tilt Amusement, he I told him, I'm like, look, I'm way over budget on this. I've got to stop. Like, I don't, there's no more pins I want. I'm good right now. And he's like, okay. And Troy knows me. I've bought hundreds of games from Troy, and my favorite person to buy a game from. Uh, so he was like, okay, I'll give you some space. I get you. I know you're spending a lot. So it was about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and my phone rings, and it's Troy, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, oh, okay. I pick up the phone, and he's like, hey, I got a pin you want, and I'm like, Troy. He's like, no. I know. You said don't right now. He's like, you're gonna want this one. And I'm like, there's nothing I could possibly want right now to make me spend any more money on the pinball side. He's like, this is a one of one. And right then it was like, okay, well, what do you have? What is it? What is it? And he's like, well, this is an odd deal. He's like, I just got this. He's like, I know I can sell it to somebody else in a private collection. Like, here's the deal. You can have it for X amount of money. I don't want to say the amount. Um, I need it tonight though, and I can be by your place around midnight. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, I'm instantly like online. I'm looking up all the information on this game, and it's Predator, and it's a one of one. A crazy story about how the game came to be. Um, the company that was working on it started production, started showing the game. The thing was just getting a lot of praise at the shows. They were taking the machine to shows, letting people play it, and they never got the license from 20th Century Fox to make a Predator game.
Oh wow.
So it turned into there's like $800,000 worth of down payment money taken in by the company, and it turned into this. People were out a lot of money. The company filed for bankruptcy, and they had sold one machine before they filed for bankruptcy. And Troy was telling me, he's like, yeah, there's a court order in the machine saying that it can be whoever owns it because 20th Century Fox was trying to get the machine for damages, and this will prove that you can have this one machine.
Jeez.
And it's the only one that existed, and he's like, it's yours if you can swing the cash on hand tonight at midnight. And had the cash on hand to do it. It was I was calling up the other guy. I was calling up GJ Jeremiah and Tommy Waffles, and like we're all meeting here, and we're all like, oh, and everybody. I'm not going to let that game go by. It's a piece of history,
Right.
and yeah, we were fortunate to get that one. And again, Troy Smith so good to let us have it, where it was going to be shared. It was one of the things he's like, I'm gonna sell this to you because I want you to make sure that people play it.
Right.
And just it's what makes Troy who he is. He's just such a generous guy, such a great guy, and looking out for everybody. It's he wants the community to have access to this game. He wanted us to bring it to Pinball Expo and show it off. And it was more important to him than him making more money, which he could have done, and nobody would have said anything about it. But he wanted the game to be shared with everybody, and it's an amazing thing. It really talks highly to that guy's character of how important that is to him, and it's an amazing thing to have people in the video, the arcade and pinball scene that are like that, and they're Troy's one of the best.
I like it. That is an awesome story actually, because that is one of the machines that was one of the things that when we did our tour, kind of just you know presented itself with all the art around it and all the fun sounds with it. Because it was in the corner next to the other machines, and it's very dark when you first get there in the morning, and it's like when you see it, you're going, "Oh my goodness, that is a gorgeous piece of machinery!" And here comes your buddy. Hey, I have a story for this one. I'm like, "Cool, let's hear it." And it's just good to hear it from you, because coming from your side, it's like this is the owner going, "This is what I did, and this is for you guys." I need this part of history because no one else has it. So, um, and that's the thing is like the pinball area. It may look small, guys, but there is so much to do in there. Um, and one of the things that's cool is playing the joust game that I've never. I mean, I've heard the arcade. I never knew they needed pinball before, and it's a two-player pinball. I'll make sure to show this in one of the videos, or a picture that when I post this to YouTube. It's a two-sided like battle, face-to-face battle, and it's basically what points for the balls, if you would. The more points you have, the more balls you have on your side, type of thing.
Yeah, you're basically shooting back and forth. Like if you can pass from your side, you can try to keep the balls on your side, but there's a lot of spinners that are worth a lot of points if you send them to the other side. So it's a very unique head-to-head game, and it was when pinball, the arcade video games were doing so well. It was just so easy to start doing pinballs based on the arcade games. So
Right.
like you had Joust and Defender and Space Invaders and Spy Hunter, Pac-Man, they Cubert, and those are some of the. We've got all of those minus Pac-Man. Well, we've got uh, Baby Pac-Man over there, but it's such a great tie-in, and another one of those things where it's. I love the video game side of it, so it's cool to have the pinball side of it too.
It's kind of when you have like the DVD and the VHS with the T-shirt to go with it. It's a whole the whole combo.
Sure, sure.
So kind of on another topic now. So I see behind you in your video, you're in your studio, right? This is where you work.
Yeah, well, this is my office. Yeah, it's
Yes. Okay. Is there?
smaller with so many things always coming in.
So whenever I do my show, I have my posters up, I have my ducks up, I have video game vintage stuff, I have a bunch of stuff behind me. What's one thing behind you that you're going, this is very cool to have?
Um, Behind me, there's so many things. Anything in this room, there's like the guitars and everything. Uh, just love playing anything with strings. Got
Okay.
a arpeggi back here. Got a apprehension engine over here. it's just anything with strings. I just love playing it. Um, yeah, it's if it's in my office, there's so little space within any of the buildings that if it's sticking around my office, it's probably something pretty important to me. Like
Okay.
so over here we got a lot of the this is all stuff from the Godzilla suits taken from the original molds and everything. So it's just a little bit of everything down here in the office.
Okay. So you're so like I think we did our talk last time where I was like, so you're basically a collector of the things that you enjoy, which is like again the arcades like it's like your baby, it's your collection. But it's kind of you don't mind presenting that to the world. Um, the one thing that is also enjoyable with the content that you bring to people, especially on your Galloping Ghost your streams, is all the excitement and the fun you put in behind every single stream. Is there a small like path you're planning on going with the streaming? Like, are you planning on doing like more like podcasts with your Gavin Ghost streaming, or are you planning just keeping it with the weekly game showing?
We definitely want to expand on doing more. There's so much stuff going on that um, we keep talking about doing going back to doing more podcasts and walkarounds. Um, it's almost daily. People are asking for that stuff. Um, but it's so hard with uh, there's now technically 8 businesses within Galloping Ghost.
Right.
So it's just difficult. There's not enough time in the day. We've added a second stream already. We've got our Monday mystery game stream, and then GGA Jeremiah the talent he streams on Thursday, and those are a lot of fun. But we've talked about doing more tech repair streams. We've talked about doing more behind the scenes stuff, cabinet restorations, podcasts. Like we were doing a lot of interviews for a long time. We were doing player interviews. We were doing industry, legends of the industry interviews, and there's so much stuff that to do, but unfortunately, only 24 hours in the day. So
Right.
it's hard to keep your teams running. Still working on Dark Presence. We got Galloping Ghost Kaiju Kobo stuff, and it's just if only the days were longer.
Yeah, I fully understand that. It's like you're going. For me, I'm doing my streaming and I'm also doing work and I'm also going planning on YouTube's. I gotta get ready. I gotta do at least 3 recordings today and about 4 more tomorrow. And I'm going. Do I have time to do another stream? Probably not. you know. So I totally understand where you come from with that. Before we go any further, so everybody who's aware, we've been doing this thing where we give a duck like we have right now, we have here on our camera Dirt Face. We have handled again on a duck as well. Today we're doing for this epic legend Doc Mack. We're making him a duck here, and he chose purple. The choices I had only 3 choices, so we're gonna put his name on one of these, and we're gonna put him in with the rest of the crew. And Doc Mack, I gotta put you down like this. The plan is we're going to make sure we find a certain area just for this duck because this duck will be always around. Okay, guys, like Doc Mack will be always around in everybody's hearts and minds and possibly souls. But this duck will always be behind here or somewhere around here because this guy is epic legend and this deck will basically represent this guy will be with us the entire time. So Doc Mack, right now you'll be next to. Actually, tell you what, you'll be next to my limited Batman that was done by Square Enix. So there you go. Yeah, we'll go with the Japanese thing. It was either that or next to my tiny Godzilla, but I don't think that Godzilla will work with you because it's very, very tiny. So we know how big your heart is with Godzilla. um, what else? What else? kind of off topic, but part of the stream. On the stream, I kind of go with the future of the YouTube stuff. Just kind of interrupt kind of what we're doing. But tomorrow is Wacky Wednesday on our YouTube. So this is kind of a preview of that. Um, we have two cute little things that we'll be trying possibly later on today. I found this Mexican store. Like, it's always fun to find new places to go for stores such as Koreatown or Chinatown in Chicago, which is always fun. Finding new things, new foods. And then here where I live in Michigan, we have a Mexican store that's pretty big, and they have these things called relenitas. I don't know what that is. They look like little biscuits with stuff inside. So we have lemon and strawberry of those. Damis, which are a milky peanut crunch. So that's gonna be fun for a challenge. And speaking of challenges, you guys remember how I said I could not eat certain things due to my medical stuff? Well, guess what? We're back doing crickets, but these are seasoned grasshoppers. So in the future, every subscription on the channel will give you guys a small handful of seasoned grasshoppers for you guys to have me enjoy. Yummy. So there's that for the future. We'll be doing that again for by YouTube tomorrow. The two biscuits and then probably one of those crickets as well to go with it. So back to the hopefully maybe last point because we're running out of time here. One of the things I wanted to bring up and kind of wonder when someone's brand new, like say someone who has never touched an arcade machine before, right? We're saying someone who's only been a console gamer and they go, I have no idea what to expect in an arcade museum like you have. Okay, give me like a good small paragraph of what would you tell that person if they have no idea what they're doing, what to expect.
And it really depends on the person. Like with anything, the more you can find out about them first, uh, you can kind of get them ready for it. Because like the arcades are so different from person to person. Some people just want to casually play. Some people want to get entrenched in it and find super obscure games. It's one of those things where some people get overwhelmed just walking through the door. There's so many sounds. There's so many things to look at. It's hard to know how to prepare somebody unless you know what they're going for.
Right.
We see players that come in literally of all calibers, and it's the community behind it is so kind of inviting that it just makes it an easy time for everybody. Um, if you want a very solitary thing, people, for me, I used to go to arcades. I just wanted to be left alone and to play the games. I didn't want to talk to people. It was just, I'm there to play. And people are very respectful of that too. So it just kind of depends on the person, what they're expecting and what they're trying to get out of it. It's like it's we've seen people that are showing up at the arcade that are it's their first time, and uh, sometimes they leave buying a year membership. Like it just really depends. It's so different. A lot of people get there and they'll spend the first hour and a half, 2 hours just walking around looking at all the artwork. So it kind of just depends on the person and what kind of what angle they're approaching the arcade from.
Okay. Very valid point. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, because growing up, arcades were kind of thing that you had to save up every penny for, and then you basically wanted to be in your corner going, I worked so hard for this 1 hour of time I had to play this one game, you know? So I get that coming from. Or trying to beat high scores. That's a big one. You gotta have that concentration where it's like everybody should just give you that 10 foot of space. You just let me do my thing. So, Doc Mac, I really appreciate and honor to have you on the stream. It's been an honor
Thank you.
having you. During the middle of your talk of the Predator arcade or pinball, we had a sound alert go off. So for those who are watching at home, when the YouTube video comes up, and for those watching right now, we may have cut a bit of it, but I'm pretty sure I can get most of it in there, from the sounds of it. So, but also if you want to hear some more of that story of the Predator machine, there's also I'll be putting a link on my YouTube on there with that video that was done 2 years ago. I think we did that video. Where we actually went behind the scenes, talking about the machines, and hopefully this year we'll get some more detailed stuff because this dude Lasagna is planning on getting some cameras hopefully soon and getting better equipment so we can actually make better videos. And also maybe this year we may bring a friend. His name's Brutus. Say hi, Brutus.
What's it?
So Brutus may show up and he may start have some fun with arcade as well. You guys have been asking for Brutus to show up in some of these videos, so we may see how Doc approves or disapproves of the Brutus love. So, anyhow, Doc Mac, I appreciate again. We are honored to have you on the stream, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Very much appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll be back in about 2 to 5 minutes. We're gonna do a quick break, do a little outro with our talk with Doc Mac, and I will see you guys next time. Peace and love. Have a little laugh in life.